Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. It's Paulie Esther here, and well, the days are ticking down until that 6th anniversary celebration of Dead by Daylight. They're going to have a live stream and it's going to happen on May the 17th at 1:30 p.m. Montreal time, about 8 days from now, probably by the time you see this. You can always, if you live in a different time zone, you can always ask your friendly Google or Siri or whatnot when it's 1:30 p.m. in Montreal. What time is it for you, to find out when this live broadcast is going to happen. And we have a run of the show here on May 17th. They're going to give us a Year 7 roadmap. They're going to talk about quality of life improvements, gameplay improvements, the Chapter 24 reveal, a look at the store. I wonder if that's in real life merchandise, probably. And 6th anniversary in-game celebrations. And with this only being 8 days away, it looks like we're starting to see our first teasers. It's probably going to be teaser week for the new chapter. So they have some stuff to show us. And the first thing that we're seeing right now is this image that they put out on some socials. I saw it on Dead by Daylight Germany and Korea and Japan. They didn't do it on the main as of yet anyway. And it's just a picture of a cassette tape with the number 24 written on it. And a couple of photographs. One looks like an interior of a house. Is this a Haddonfield or Thompson house? Not sure. And then that looks like the grill of a pickup truck to me. So this is all we have so far, and it just says number 24 on it. And normally when you think about cassette tapes, my mind instantly goes to the Legion. Those characters deal in a lot of cassette tapes, but there is one other character that deals in cassette tapes, and it looks like there's a possibility that we may see Dead by Daylight birthing a chapter out of the lore of another chapter. They did this with the Oni, who came out of the Spirits lore, and it looks like we might have another character coming from the lore of an existing original character, none other than the Doctor. The Doctor has a couple of different tapes here. We have this scrap tape add-on, a compact cassette from Project Awakening containing mostly white noise. This opens the Doctor's mind to alternate treatment methods, and this turns the shock blast into a ring. And then the other one is the interview tape. Same description, compact cassette from Project Awakening containing an unedited interview of a victim. That's not white noise. This is an interview of a victim. Opens the Doctor's mind to alternate treatment methods again. And this changes the shock therapy's area effect into a narrow beam, 24 meters. Is that what the 24 is? I don't know. So this cassette tape with the number 24 on it. Oh, chapter 24. Yeah, it's probably chapter 24, right? If it is related to the Doctor and his interview tape or scrap tape and whatnot, who is in the Doctor's lore that's mentioned by name that could become a character in Dead by Daylight? Let's go look at the Doctor's lore. Okay, so here's the Doctor's lore. Interestingly, the lore has been changed at some point. I don't know exactly when this took place. I don't know if there is significance to this, if it was just cleaning it up or retconning it, if there's any significance here. But we're going to go ahead and read both versions of the Doctor's lore here. From an early age, Herman Carter understood the human psyche. To analyze and deconstruct something as powerful as the brain intrigued him. He was an apt pupil and gained the attention of his teachers. He excelled in high school and was published in Partisan, a psychology gazette. Within a year, Carter was fast-tracked into Yale's advanced neuroscience program. Really, it was a front for the CIA. Brain power is a must if you're about to conquer the world and demolish foes across the pond. The CIA understood this, so interrogation and intelligence became their #1 priority. All they needed were brilliant people like Carter. They may have actually changed his lore to fit into the story that they told in Tome 2. That might have been when it changed. Carter and other top-tier recruits were transferred off campus and into a secret black site facility in Illinois known as Leary's Memorial Institute. A protege craves a mentor, and that's where Dr. Otto Stamper stepped in, who taught Carter that information is everything and knowledge is power. He was given all instruments needed, a guiding hand, and more or less anything he asked for. He never realized that sunlight had started to become so scarce that he too was kept in the dark. because knowledge doesn't only give you power, it transforms you into a threat. To extract information was his mission. Dr. Stamper encouraged Carter to go further and not to consider this a normal medical facility. No eyes were watching them. There were no rules to abide. The agency just pointed Carter in the right direction. Then he started to take a few steps back as he saw how Carter could walk on his own. Docile test subjects were exchanged for real live spies, people that played a role in the troubles outside the facility. Carter shouldered this new role. Project Awakening took form, and on paper, Carter described it as experimental interrogation. It was approved, and over a few months, nobody knocked on his door. Screams and moans filled the corridors outside his lab, but wars skew people and what they accept, as long as the enemy is kept at bay. The fluorescent lights flickered more and more often. Electroconvulsive treatment became a standard dish on the menu. Prisoners held to the facility begged the guards to take them to any other lab but Carter's. Rumors were disregarded in the beginning. Over the years, Carter became known as the Doctor, and no one ever questioned if he had even held a medical certificate or even what happened to the prisoners after they had given up their information. It was only after the Lorraise Memorial Institute went silent for a week that they finally uncovered the true horror of what had happened there. Carter's experimental information extraction had turned to horrific and bizarre torture. Patients and prisoners were found dead or in vegetative states with all types of head trauma. In his office, they found the most terrible discovery of all, Dr. Stamper himself, his head peeled open and an array of electrodes and sensors inserted into his still working but annihilated brain. There was no sign of Herman the Dr. Carter, but his research papers suggested that he had been using the prisoners as part of an awful ECT experiment as he searched for the panacea of mind control. The government didn't want to know, the black site was condemned, and all the knowledge of Lorraise Memorial Institute was redacted forever. Okay, so here's the current lore. Not really sure why they shortened it, unless it was to fit the narrative of the story they were telling in Tome 2 about MK Awakening, but here it is shortened. It's kind of curious to me that it is shortened, because as we've gone on chapter by chapter, it seems like the lore of original characters has just gotten longer and longer, but here it is. It's very short. Showing exceptional aptitude in psychology, Herman was handpicked for special training in an advanced neuroscience program located in a secret black site facility in Illinois known as Lorraise Memorial Institute, really a front for the CIA. This is where Herman met Dr. Otto Stamper, where under his guidance, Herman began to use strange and ever increasingly vicious methods to extract information from prisoners sent to the Institute, which was also a covert prison and re-education center for whoever was the USA's current nemesis. His liberal use of violent electroshock therapy revealed dramatic results, and several threats to national security were uncovered. Over the years, Herman became known as the Doctor, and no one ever questioned if he held a medical certificate or even what happened to the prisoners after they had given up their information. That's the same. It was only after Lorraise Memorial Institute went silent for a week that the true horror was finally discovered. The personnel, patients, and prisoners were all found dead with all types of head trauma. All personnel and prisoners' bodies were accounted for, including Dr. Stamper, but no sign of the Dr. Herman Carter. So they really downplay Stamper in this rewrite here. And on the wiki, Stamper even has his own wiki page with his own lore gleaned from the Doctor stuff here. It says, Dr. Otto Stamper was Herman Carter's mentor at Lorraise, who taught him that information is everything and knowledge is power. As extracting information was Stamper's mission, he encouraged his protege to go further and further and not consider the Institute as a medical facility, but as a place to extract vital information. He was ultimately reduced to a permanent vegetative state by his protege, found in Carter's office with his head peeled open and an array of electrodes and sensors inserted into his still working but annihilated brain. So we can assume that Dr. Herman Carter was the last person that Dr. Otto Stamper ever saw. I'm not sure why this part has been changed about his head peeled and stuff like that. But yeah, it looks that Dr. Carter finally turned on Stamper at the end here. And one thing that is interesting to note is that Otto Stamper was still alive, and we know that the entity can work with people and bring them into the fog as long as they aren't dead. So, is Dr. Otto Stamper poised to come into the fog? It's an interesting idea. I like the idea of Dead by Daylight building new chapters connected to existing chapters. So we'll wait and see what happens. Presumably there's going to be some more teasers after this in the days to follow, leading up to that anniversary celebration. But I'm pretty excited to see it. I'm going to be live streaming the anniversary celebration on my own Twitch channel. If you want to have a watch party with me and my community, I would love to see you there. But I'm looking forward to whatever is entailed in this anniversary stream. Probably going to be at least an hour, maybe 90 minutes. Looks like there's a lot of stuff to cover in that run of the show list there. So can't wait to see everything that Dead by Daylight has in store for us. But that's all I have for you today. Thank you, as always, so very much for watching. I appreciate the time that you spend here with me on my channel. And don't forget to take care of each other in and out of the fog, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
It's a Gen Rush life for us. It's a Gen Rush life for us. Set a hiding, we do gens. Set a randoms, we got friends. It's a Gen Rush life.